Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimade Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nitanamane. Namaste Saraswati Devi Kauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunivadi Pashatade Shatarane. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Welcome,
Hare Krishna
Vishnu
Prabhuji,
Murti
Dandavat
Prabhu
Pranam,
Shisham.
Hare Krishna.
Dr.Prashant, Vishnu Prabhupada. Welcome, nice to see you. So, we will start with the chapter number 32. Hare Krishna.
Recording in progress.
Shyamu Mukunda Prabhu, welcome. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam. So, we are reading chapter number 32 of Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita Part 1. And the chapter is titled as The Dancing White Elephants. Before this chapter, we learned about a chapter titled as Threat Against ISKCON. And in that, we learned how Srila Prabhupada realized that some of his devotees, disciples in India were diverting away from the Prabhupada's teachings. Uh, and those divergence were demeaning the positioning or position of a spiritual master, the guru. At the same time, in America also, there were quite a few incidences where Srila Prabhupada was not, I would say, comfortable or happy with the behavior of the disciples because they were negligent in many of their spiritual activities or instructions of Srila Prabhupada in the terms of chanting, reading books, following regulative principles, as well as some of the errors were made in printing the books. Uh, Prabhupada was not overall comfortable, and then like one time when Srila Prabhupada was visiting San Francisco Rath Yatra, I think it was third Rath Yatra, where more than 10,000 people attended. And some of the devotees or disciples, they prevented Srila Prabhupada from being on the chariot. So many incidences added up, and Srila Prabhupada said that it's not according to the teachings what Srila Prabhupada expected or standards which Srila Prabhupada expected from the devotees. So then Srila Prabhupada also established a GBC, 12-member committee to manage the administration. And the idea was that Srila Prabhupada wanted to focus more on the writing the books and preaching activities. So he appointed 12 members committee, and also he gave initiation to sannyasis. This was in Los Angeles, and Srila Prabhupada wanted these sannyasis to travel and spread Krishna consciousness all over, so that preaching activities also go on. And then Srila Prabhupada wanted to set an example, so he decided to travel to India via Japan. So first he stopped over in Tokyo, and then at this time, like almost 5 years have passed since Srila Prabhupada has arrived in America. We are talking about 1970s now, and Prabhupada has quite a few centers in America, Europe. The preaching is going very nicely. There's a nice center in London. So at this time, you can realize the Hare Krishna movement has established in America and well in America, because there are quite a few initiated devotees and quite a few centers. Los Angeles was one of the first of its a center which was property which was owned by ISKCON, and Srila Prabhupada was very happy. He personally planned every details of the temple. There was it was like a ideal temple. Srila Prabhupada wanted all his disciples to come and visit this center to learn more from the Los Angeles temple. And Srila Prabhupada was very comfortable with the weather, and overall it was a good experience for Srila Prabhupada. Anyhow, So now Srila Prabhupada wanted to expand in India and wanted also to show his sannyasi disciples that their role is to travel all over and and spread Krishna consciousness. So Srila Prabhupada decided to travel to India via Japan. So he stayed in Japan for some days. There he had some preaching programs. There is a center. There was a center in Japan in Tokyo, and it was like not a big property. It was like one room was a temple and one room was like a residential thing. So, but Srila Prabhupada spent some time in Japan. There he Vyas Puja celebration of Srila Prabhupada was there in Japan. That was Janmashtami time, the day after Janmashtami. And devotees were not aware how to conduct Vyas Puja. So they conducted Vyas Puja without flowers. So Srila Prabhupada said, "Oh, you don't have flowers for me for the Vyas Puja, Pushpa?" And they didn't know the word Pushpa actually. So, like, you can understand the situation of the devotees, right? So then Srila Prabhupada had to tell them everything about how to conduct the Vyas Puja and everything. So it's very nicely described in lilamrita. Anyhow, so then they started printing the books in Japan. Quite a few printing of the books for the Asian continent was started in Japan actually. So then Srila Prabhupada came to India. That is August 29, 1970. Here is the first. Now Srila Prabhupada is returning almost after 3 years to India, and Srila Prabhupada came to Calcutta. At the Calcutta airport, there was hundreds of people came, including his disciples, American disciples, old friends, god brothers. There was a big kirtan at the airport. It was like a festival atmosphere. People were chanting. There were lots of flower garlands, putting one after another garland on the Srila Prabhupada, like a whole big pile of garlands on Srila Prabhupada's neck. And then somebody removing one pile and then more garlands keep on coming. So many people were there. In India, I think people have never seen or experienced something like that at the airport. This was first of its kind in India also. So, Srila Prabhupada was really honored. And after the Kirtan, Srila Prabhupada, there were some press reporters at the airport. So Srila Prabhupada, after the Kirtan, he gave a speech. And here is the speech of Srila Prabhupada. Vishnumurti Prabhu, you want to read?
Sure. Science without Harinam. When the Kirtana ended, they began to speak. I am coming back to the city after 3 years, Hare Krishna. I have been around the world and have found that happiness and peace cannot be established in this world by materialistic advancement. I have seen Japan, which is highly advanced in machines and technology, yet there is no real happiness there. But the people of India, even if they do not understand the significance of Sankirtana, they enjoy listening to it. My advice to the Indians is that if you advance only in science and technology without paying attention to Harinam, then you will be remain forever backward. There is a tremendous strength in Harinama.
Hare Krishna. So wonderful, right?
Yes.
Even it's valid today, right? So we are advancing everywhere, but Srila Prabhupada says that without paying attention to Harinam, you will forever remain backward. So Harinam has a tremendous strength, Srila Prabhupada says. So Srila Prabhupada emphasized that now you see Indian or this is 1970s where westernization has colonized India actually, and everybody is thinking that West is the best. So people are giving their spiritual practices. They want to imitate Western living standards, and materialistic advancements are progressing very high in India. So Srila Prabhupada has noticed it, and Srila Prabhupada wanted to let them know that it's good to progress in the technology, but without paying attention to chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, it is not worth. So that is what Srila Prabhupada propagated through India In the Prabhupada had a master plan, which he did not tell to anybody. So his plan will be revealed soon to all of us. The newspaper coverage, the Amrit Bazar Patrika, this is Calcutta's very high circulating newspaper. So he carried the front page news story of Srila Prabhupada's arrival because the arrival was so grand. You see, one thing about Srila Prabhupada always emphasize is that whenever a saintly personality come or go, it is not just arrival but departure also. Uh, uh, Hundreds of people should come and greet them. We see that in Srimad Bhagavatam also when Lord Krishna used to arrive, like he arrived into Dwarka from Hastinapur, all the citizens they came and greeted Lord Krishna with the flowers and arti paraphernalia. And I think that is the Vedic standard that whenever a devotee or pure devotee of Lord arrives, we should greet them with all the paraphernalia, everything. So, and this is what made an impact at the Calcutta airport. That when everybody arrived, hundreds of people chanting, it was a very nice, you say, exposure of Krishna consciousness to the people who are not even aware of it. So the next day, when Anand Badar Patrika reported with the Prabhupada walking with uh, his hand in his bid bag, surrounded by young sannyasis, this is Prabhupada came from America through Japan to India with four American sannyasi disciples, whom he had given sannyas diksha in America. This was in 1970s. So when this is never ever before, India had seen Westerner sannyasis. This is the first time they are seeing with Srila Prabhupada arriving them with the danda in their hand. So this was that picture made a capture of the front page of the newspaper. So many VIPs have, the newspaper reported, many VIPs have come to Dum Dum Airport before, but never have we seen gaiety and celebrations of this magnitude. So there are so much kirtan, so much dancing. So this was at the airport. Nobody had seen this before. The newspaper says it was difficult to imagine that he was 75 years old because he was completely fresh after this long journey. So America, before, so from Los Angeles, Srila Prabhupada went to Hawaii. And then from Hawaii, he went to Japan. And from Japan, he came to India. It's a long journey, right? And Prabhupada is no young, like 75 years old. So with a little smile on his face, he blessed one and all with the word Hari Bol. So Srila Prabhupada's arrival was well received by people and by the media as well. And then there were reporters. And there is very nice communication here. This is from lilamrita. Uh, Now, Srila Prabhupada from the airport, this I think this communication is at the airport, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So maybe Vidar Prabhu, you want to read?
Sure, Prabhu. Sadhu Sadhu, reporter, you have said, and I quote, even communism, if it is without Krishna Nama, is void. Why do you say that? Prabhupada, why do you refer to communism in particular without Krishna consciousness? Everything is void. Whatever you do, Krishna must remain in the center. Whether you are a communist or capitalist or anything else, it does not matter. We want to see whether your activities are centered around Krishna. Reporter, right now there is too much turmoil in Bengal. What is your advice to us at this time? Prabhupada, my advice, my advice is to chant Hare Krishna. This is the piece of advice to both the capitalists and communists. All animosity between them will cease completely and all their problems will be solved. If they take this advice, the crowd affirming Prabhupada's word began to shout, Sadhu, Sadhu.
Thank you, Rohit. Thank you so much. Thank you. So we can see that Srila Prabhupada's uh, arrival was very well received, and reporters were asking questions also. And communism was Bengal's political background. You know, Communist Party ruled Bengal for quite some time until 15 years ago. And There were lots of riots. There were, like, communist, as some of you may know, they were exploiting the businessmen actually. What they were doing is that they were sending the goons to collect the money, and if they don't give the money, they used to kill them. Actually, this was the Communist Party, and there was a lot of horror and a lot of fear, and a lot of people from Calcutta at this time were leaving, or Bengal actually were leaving um, Calcutta or big cities, and they were moving to other parts of India because Communist Party was like a completely mafia, so they were asking Srila Prabhupada that what should we do, and then Prabhupada said that it's the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra which is very important, whether it is a communism or capitalism. All the problems can be solved if we take the Srila Prabhupada's advice sincerely. And what is that? It is chanting the Hare Krishna
Chanting
Mahamantra.
Hare Krishna.
I think this is a very serious matter. Srila Prabhupada is saying here, and Prabhupada is no more like taking it lightly, This is a serious subject matter he's talking about to the reporter, and he's saying that chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra is the solution to all the problems in our life. And everybody, they said sadhu, sadhu. Sadhu, sadhu means when you agree with somebody, you say sadhu, sadhu. So all the people, they agreed with Srila Prabhupada. So then from the airport, Srila Prabhupada, Calcutta airport, he went to one of his well-wisher who came to receive, and then on the way in the car, Srila Prabhupada was noticing all the Calcutta, crowd and traffic. This was like the Western disciples had come for the first time to America, and this was like a horror for them. There's so much crowd. It was like a cultural shock. Imagine, like, if you if you land in a place where there are billions of people on the streets, and the city where you come from, there are hardly people on the streets, right? So there was a cultural shock, crowded streets, and then animals on the street. Any foreigner who comes to, like, for the first time to India, for them seeing cows and dogs and donkeys on the street is like a real surprise. Is that right, bro? They've never seen that in America or in Canada. Do we see that in here? No, right? So
No. Yeah.
this is a real. So all the Prabhupada's American disciples were shocked to see the animals on the streets. Actually, in India, it's very common. Even nowadays, also, cows sleeping on the street and dogs sleeping on the street. Actually, in India, dog is a big problem nowadays. If you go night time, all the dogs will bark at you. You got that experience, Vishnumurti Prabhu?
Yeah, Prabhu, of course, yeah.
So all the Prabhupada disciples who were with Srila Prabhupada traveling in that car from airport to there's a devotee, his name was Mr. Das Gupta. Srila Prabhupada was traveling in the car, and the like rickshaw, they have never seen rickshaw in America. So all these American disciples were surprised, what is this vehicle with the three wheels? So it's like, and then in Calcutta, Prabhu, is a man driving the rickshaw, olden times, So these are all, so it was really, but so at this time, some of the disciples are already in India, like Tamal Krishna Maharaj, Jayapataka Maharaj. They were already there, Achyutananda. These are all already staying in India. Prabhupada, when he came in the first visit, he left them. And then he sent some of them for the training part. So they were used to these things. but not the new disciples who traveled with Srila Prabhupada. So then Srila Prabhupada reached Mr. Das Gupta's home, and then Srila Prabhupada, his sister, so his sister, Bhavatarini. Actually, did you read this month's Back to Godhead magazine? Anybody read this month's Back to Godhead magazine? No? How many of you have a subscription to BTG?
Sorry, yes, that's what I was going to ask. Back to Godhead magazine?
Yeah, have you heard that before?
No, I've heard Back to Godhead name, but I don't know where to subscribe for it.
Okay, I will send you the link. Well, this month's BTG, I think we all should subscribe to BTG. You see, BTG subscription is not great at this time of the year. It is not very expensive actually. $50 for a whole year. It's 35 Americans or 50 Canadians for a whole year, and we should subscribe to BTG. I think at least maybe Vishnumurthy Prabhu, Shyam Mukunda Prabhu, Vidura Prabhu, Parulji. At least we can increase subscription by 4 today. Actually, BTG is so remarkable. I receive it it comes every other month. And the pictures are amazing, the titles are amazing, the topics are amazing. Even keeping it as like just keep it on your, what is living room, and it will increase the aura of the living room. This month, BTG has a beautiful cover page of Srila Prabhupada's sister, Pishima. Okay. And a beautiful article about her. But anyhow, the reason I'm mentioning here today, because Srila Prabhupada arrived at Mr. Das Gupta's home, and Srila Prabhupada's sister Bhavatarini brought a special type of food for Srila Prabhupada. Now it was like 1 a.m. in the night time. From the airport, late night flight. Usually in India, flight from America or in Canada arrives late, right? So flight arrived late. About 1 a.m. Prabhupada reached Mr. Das Gupta's home, and then sister Bhavatarini and there are some disciple or some devotees from the Chaitanya Mutt also got some prasadam for Srila Prabhupada. Now it's 1 a.m., right? And they are asking, Prabhupada, can you eat? So here is a very nice incident. Shyam Mukunda Prabhu, you want to read?
Sure, Prabhuji. Honor Prasadam. We can't eat now, one of the sannyasis protested. It's late at night. No, Prabhupada said, you must eat everything. Whatever my sister cooks, we have to eat. This is her favorite activity. She likes to cook for me and feed me. Everyone must take prasadam. The devotees at Chaitanya Mutt had also cooked a feast. And as Prabhupada was honoring the prasadam prepared by his sister, the prasadam from the Chaitanya Mutt arrived. He took a little and included his followers to eat
Sumptuously.
sumptuously.
Thank you, Shyama Mukunda Prabhu. Thank you so much. So here you see it's 1 a.m. It's Prabhupada morning. Mangal Aarti time is 4 a.m. So Prabhupada traveled such a long distance. Japan to India flight, Calcutta flight is almost 10 hours flight, right? It's a long flight. And Prabhupada at age 75, traveling that flight from there a couple of hours to reach to the Mr. Das Gupta's home. So imagine how tired he might be. And he is saying that my sister, I must respect her because she has cooked the food. It is not the time usually Prabhupada eats in the night time, 1 a.m. But this is an exceptional, he says to his disciples, because his disciples know about Srila Prabhupada's routine. So they say, Prabhupada is not going to eat now. So Prabhupada said, no, we must eat now because my sister has cooked for me. What does that say? Prabhuji, what does that say? Anybody wants to contribute here? This is a wonderful learning lesson. What is that? Vidura Prabhu.
The love and basically not doing niyam agraha.
Wonderful. Yeah. See, the our family members also has to be respected. It's not that we have become like a devotee, so we disregard our family members. It's Prabhupada giving us a lesson here that her sister was she was not following Srila Prabhupada, like in terms of Krishna conscious philosophy, but Srila Prabhupada loved her, and that is what is very important here. Prabhupada is showing the relationship matters, no matter how great Vaishnava you become, relationship has to be preserved and respected and cared for, nurtured for. So he said, no, no, it's 1 a.m., but I must eat because my sister has cooked it. She loves me so much. So very nice incidents, importance of family relationships. Srila Prabhupada is showing through love and care and compassion and kindness. And like a Chaitanya Math devotees, they cook prasadam for Srila Prabhupada. Now, these Chaitanya Math, some of them were against Srila Prabhupada. They were even instigating some of his disciples, Srila Prabhupada's disciples, oh, you should not pronounce Prabhupada to name to Srila Prabhupada. There was only one Prabhupada, is the Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj. Those devotees, they cooked prasadam and brought, and Srila Prabhupada said, no, I will respect that. So no matter what happens, Srila Prabhupada used to be very respectful to the people around him, and that is very, very important part of the whole thing here. I learned this lesson here, that Prabhupada respecting her sister. Because now he has when Srila Prabhupada left, he was by himself. And now he has hundreds and hundreds of people greeting him, garlands. He had just had a grand welcome at the airport. So ordinarily, the person may become like a very egoistic. Oh, I'm so big. I'm so much followers are there. The Americans are following me. Imagine the ego can enter into somebody's mind. But here, Srila Prabhupada, very ground to earth person, after having so much honor and respect, he has not forgotten his roots, and he's saying, "Oh, must eat my sister," So there is a humanitarian aspect, there is a humility aspect, there is a relationship and social angle here. It's a beautiful incident, which really is a touching incidents. So then, at 1 a.m., Srila Prabhupada sat in his room with Achyutananda, Jayapataka, Devananda Maharaj. Devananda Maharaj is one of the new sannyasi disciples of Srila Prabhupada. And he explained them how irresponsible letters from his disciples in India has penetrated within ISKCON a deep misunderstanding of spiritual master's position. He quoted the words Sakshad Haritvena Samasta Shastra and explained it. The Guru is on an equal level with Hari, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Guru is not God, but he is the dearmost servant of God. So here Srila Prabhupada in a conversation explaining that Guru's position should never be taken it for granted. Sometimes our Guru Maharaj may talk us jokingly, sometimes they are friendly, sometimes they sit on the same level as us. Like sometimes we see that great Vaishnava devotees will sit, like Bhakti Marg Swami sometimes comes here at Thunder Bay, and he will sit with us on the dining table and eat with us. Well, here Srila Prabhupada is saying that it is not on the same level, even though they might be showing that behavior out of compassion and kindness. It is not that they are on the same level as us, probably, and they are Sakshat Haritvena Samasta Shastre. Uktastata bhavyate eva sadvi. Kintu prabhurya priya eva tasya vande guru Sri Charana. Actually, incidentally, I was reading this yesterday evening, and yesterday morning, I was, after Guru Puja and everything, I was contemplating on this verse. Sakshat Haritvena Samasta Shastre Uttastata Bhavyate Eva Shadvi Kintu Prabhurya. Have you listened to the word Kintu? Everybody knows this, right? Kintu?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
What does Kintu means?
Uh,
Shamu,
But,
Parulji, go ahead.
but,
Kintu, but, however, you see, whenever there is a but in any sentence, what does Shyam Mukunda Prabhu says? Say, I say, Shyam Mukunda Prabhu, you are great, but what does that say?
that means there's something else that's contradictory.
Yeah.
Huh? So it says, Sakshat Haritena Samasta Shastre Uktastata Bhavyate Vashadi Kintu Prabhurya. So this word Kintu is very important here in this verse. And it says that Guru is as good as God. So Guru has to be respected as God, but Guru is not God. This is very important. So we should give every respect to the Guru as a respect to the God. But understanding that he is the messenger of God and he is coming here, so we can't replace God with Guru. There are many sampradayas which replace God with Guru. So they remove the God and put the Guru there. So that doesn't work. So here Srila Prabhupada is saying that we should never disrespect Guru because he is the messenger of God. You see, when a messenger of a government comes to you, that messenger is not government, but he's bringing the message of government to you. So he is a government. Is that right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So very, very important concept here is that Srila Prabhupada is explaining it. Sakshat Haritena Samasta Shastre. Guru is on equal level with Hari, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but he is not God, but he is the dearmost servant of God. So because some of his disciples, this is happening while Srila Prabhupada is on the planet actually, that some of the disciples were working for the self-interest. And in that self-interest, they were demeaning the position of Srila Prabhupada. So, and then that we learned in the previous chapter, like how it was being happened. So, Srila Prabhupada wanted to preach his disciples, making them more, Krishna conscious and removing any misconceptions about spiritual master's position, learning from the all unpleasant events which happened in America, right? And then Srila Prabhupada wanted his disciples to work together without any personal motives and wanted to spread Krishna consciousness more. So at that time, Srila Prabhupada is sitting there in that room at Mr. Das Gupta's home, and then Achyutananda asked Srila Prabhupada if he could take sannyas, because he said that Indians, they respect sannyasis a lot. So Prabhupada said, yes, of course, you can take sannyas because it would help in preaching. And at the same time, he asked Jayapataka Maharaj, do you want to take sannyas? And that is 1970s. Achyutananda and Jayapataka Maharaj were initiated and given a sannyas diksha in Radhashtami Day or in Calcutta. Amazing, right? Is wonderful. Is so many years, 1970s and 2026. How many years Jayapataka Maharaj is still there? He's so many years.
Prabhuji, one question. In ISKCON, like, can somebody take sannyas who is already married, or do they have to be unmarried and those are the people who can take sannyas?
No, sannyas diksha at this time is sannyas. Anybody can take sannyas. So sannyas is an ashram. So it's a gruhastha, vanaprastha, brahmachari, gruhastha, vanaprastha, and sannyas. These are 4 ashramas. Now one can take sannyas even after brahmachari ashram directly, rather than going to gruhastha and vanaprastha. Srila Prabhupada went to brahmachari ashram, gruhastha ashram, vanaprastha, and took sannyas like that. So there are many brahmacharis in ISKCON like Radhisham Prabhu and Gauranga Prabhu and so many wonderful other like devotees who are on the verge of taking sannyas. They have never got married now. They are brahmacharis all the time. To that matter, Bhakti Ashray Vaishnava Maharaj, our dearmost Guru Maharaj, he also is never married. He just directly took sannyas. So it's all approved by the Guru and by the GBC. Nobody can take sannyas by whimsically. There are standards set by the organization, and because many people, in past, Srila Prabhupada set all these standards because sometimes people take sannyas and then they fall to the trap of wrong things. So then sannyas ashram loses its value. Imagine a sannyasi running away with a woman or drinking alcohol or doing drugs. That will create a wrong image of sannyas ashram. So that is why it is a very strict ashram. Not everybody can get sannyas. It is a long process. In ISKCON, if you want to take sannyas, its minimum wait is 10-15 years after you enroll yourself, and then
Right.
that's never guaranteed. So anyhow, so Srila Prabhupada gave sannyas to those, and then Calcutta. There is a political turmoil. Naxalites uh, had been rioting, murdering prominent businessmen. Many people were in trouble. Uh, so Srila Prabhupada, everybody was approaching Srila Prabhupada, and Srila Prabhupada said, the only shelter all of is Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So Srila Prabhupada said, but I'm simply advising them to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra because this transcendental sound is the only panacea for all the material diseases. This is the only shelter. Actually, you see, today is also similar situation. All the countries are fighting. There is so much, economic problems, and everywhere people are not even really happy in terms of uh, their personal things and social things. So the only shelter Srila Prabhupada advises is that we should seriously take chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. This will really help us. That is what is mentioned here in this paragraph. Now, dancing white elephants. Sushila Madhvi Mata, you want to read this?
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
You're muted, Mataji.
Sorry, Prabhuji. Dancing white elephants. Prabhupada had his party of 10 devotees and he had asked his leaders in the west of 20 more within the month. He had ordered 60,000 worth of books and magazines from Nippon, and his sannyasis were going daily into the streets to perform kirtan. The Sankirtan party was getting a good response. Sorry, Seven-hit Westerners wearing Sikas, Vaishnava tilak and saffron robes, playing kartals and mridangas, chanting Hare Krishna with heart and soul, quoting Sanskrit verses from Bhagavad Gita, affirming Lord Krishna to be the supreme personality of Godhead for the Bengalis. This was sensational, and hundreds would gather to watch. Prabhupada knew the great appeal his disciples would have. Everyone would want to see them. He therefore affectionately called them his dancing white elephants.
So, white people, Have you heard this word before? Dancing white elephants?
No, Prabhuji.
This is first time you're hearing?
No, Prabhuji. Yeah, we have it.
This is a new first time? Okay. Well,
I heard Prabhu when they are coming from the airport. I came with my white elephants. Prabhupada somewhere he quoted
yes.
in the flight.
Yeah. So white people traveling with Srila Prabhupada. In America, in India, actually, anything which Westerners would do is appreciated. So Srila Prabhupada called it white elephants because it attracted so many people. Imagine 1970s where Britishers have just left India, a few years back actually, about 25 years back. And after that, there are no more Westerners in India. Everybody had left. And now these Westerners are entering with Srila Prabhupada, wearing saffron dress and danda in their hand, and This was like something else, and they were all dancing in the streets. Prabhupada encouraged them, oh, go for the Sankirtan. In Bengal, Sankirtan was very common actually at that time, and then a lot of Sankirtan parties. So Srila Prabhupada said, go in the streets and do Hare Krishna Kirtan and distribute the books. So for that, Srila Prabhupada had ordered $60,000 worth of books and magazines from Dai Nippon. Dai Nippon is in Japan, and Srila Prabhupada had a printing center there for the Asian part, because India is not yet established, So Srila Prabhupada wanted to have printing of the books. So he ordered the books and he said, go and chant in the streets and all these devotees. Now, Srila Prabhupada had about 10 devotees with him in America, and he said 20 devotees more should come from America to India. So total about 30 to 35 devotees, Americans, And Srila Prabhupada is traveling everywhere with his American devotees, So such a great, nobody had seen this scene that a sannyasi traveling with 30 American disciples. This is outstanding and still is a really amazing scene. So everybody is mesmerized with this scene. And Srila Prabhupada called them dancing white elephant because it attracted so many people. These are same devotees who had grown to love chanting Hare Krishna mantra in the San Francisco, Los Angeles area, New York area, and now going to be out in exhausting heat, never encountered in America, and chanting on the Dalhousie Square of Calcutta for several hours daily. Crowds will present in closely and sometimes teasing, laughing, scoffing, but often looking with a deep amazement. So idea was that Indians, when they saw young Westerners adopting Krishna consciousness principles, their faith in their own culture would increase. And that is what Srila Prabhupada wanted. So Srila Prabhupada explained this to his disciples that how formerly, like during the Maharaj Yudhishthira time, the India was like a Krishna conscious country or state. And in the last few hundred or thousand years, under the foreign rules, like, Mughals and then British, as a result, the India has lost its respect for its own culture, So people were pursuing the materialistic goal of life, and this was like a not which Srila Prabhupada wanted them. He wanted them to respect their own culture at the same time. So, but then, some people were thinking that these Westerners are beggars because in Calcutta, in Bengal, there were many beggars who were chanting on the street Hare Krishna Kirtan. So Srila Prabhupada thought, oh, this is not good. So what did Srila Prabhupada do? Here is the wonderful, wonderful. Sri Shailaja Mataji, you want to read?
Yes, Prabhuji. Professional performers are beggars. The chanting in Dalhousie Square and along Chaurangi had gone on for about 10 days when Prabhupada decided to stop it. The streets Kirtana, although an excellent method of preaching, was not the most effective method for India, he said. There were many professional Kirtana groups in Bengal, and Prabhupada did not want his disciples to be seen like that, as professional performers are beggars. He wanted them to preach in a way that would bring them closer to the more intelligent, respectable Indians, and he unfolded his new plan.
Thank you, Broji. It's a very, very wonderful incidents here. You see, Srila Prabhupada is teaching us one most important thing through these incidents. So the devotees in America used to go on the street and chant. And the same devotees, when came to India, they chanted on the streets, and Prabhupada closely watched. There were some devotees, some people who were attracted to them, but then he realized that there is a different perception among the people, that they are thinking that they were beggars or performers. And because there were other people doing the same thing for the same purpose, similar purpose, similar thing but different purpose. Sorry. So Prabhupada said it should not be confusing. So he said, now please stop this kirtan. What do we learn from this, Vidura Prabhu? Vishnumurti Prabhu, you're there?
Prabhuji, he is not there.
Okay. Vidura Prabhu, are you there? Shama Mukunda Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji. Prabhupada, in my opinion, what I'm thinking is Prabhupada want his disciples to be in the respectable position all the time. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
I think that he also wants to distance himself. Like he wants a certain standard, and he needs people to recognize ISKCON with a certain standard, and not confuse them with beggars who are just begging on the street and chanting for money.
That is
Here he wants to show that chanting should be for liberation and not just for money.
That is true. Well, that is good understanding. But what important aspect here is that Srila Prabhupada is taking a call. He asked them to chant, and then he asked them not to chant. Time, place, and circumstances. This is the most important principle Srila Prabhupada is showing through this example, that the thing which worked in America will not work in India, and things which work in India will not work in America. He's saying that we should be very careful and take the decisions, express the time, place, and circumstances. So here, Srila Prabhupada, when he saw his disciples doing the kirtan, initially he observed people were attracted, but then circumstances changed. And he realized that, people are confusing them with the professional beggars, and it should not work like that, professional performers or beggars. So he immediately changed the decision. He said, no, we have to change the decision. So time, place, and circumstances, something which work in one place will not work in another place. Sometimes, we see that, okay, some devotee is doing this, so let's do that. All that person's condition is different than your condition. So you should be, the circumstances are different. So we should work accordingly and not go crazy and like that. So Prabhupada said, no, what we can do here is that we want to preach to the intelligent people, respectable people. And then he said, let's start with something new. So Prabhupada had a new plan. And what was the plan? So he started with life membership. How many of you are life members of ISKCON? Have you paid the fees? Anybody has paid life membership? Vishnumurti Prabhu?
No, Prabhu.
No? There is life membership card actually. It's not that expensive actually. Well, I purchased when I got married. That was in 1996. So a life membership card is still available. In Toronto also you can buy life membership. We all should have life membership at ISKCON. Srila Prabhupada introduced this life membership card, where with the card you can go to any ISKCON temple where there is a residential facility, and you can stay there 3 days free of cost. So like if you go to Vrindavan, you go to Mayapur, you go to New Vrindavan in America, or anywhere there is a residential facility. For that matter, Thunder Bay also. We do have a little residential facility. So if you come with a life membership card, then you can stay. So
Is this card same for India and
yeah. Price is different. In India, it's in Indian rupees, so it might be a little lower. But in America, I think it's, if I'm not mistaken, I don't know, maybe it's 5,000 or something. I don't know what is the price. But Srila Prabhupada introduced this life membership, and he called it, his disciples would invite Indians interested in supporting and associating with ISKCON to become members. A membership at that time in 1970, 1,111 rupees would be entitled somebody to become a life member. And what was that involved? So the copies of Srila Prabhupada books, so entire set of books of all Prabhupada books, and the accommodation for three days, free accommodation. So so then Srila Prabhupada one day was speaking to some private businessman, and he introduced the life membership program, and they all became life members. Uh, actually, how did this idea come to Srila Prabhupada? Because in India also, people enjoy being like a respectable member of Rotary Club and this club and that club. So this is the idea that okay, they will feel respected or proud of being part of the ISKCON. So actually, I met quite a few people who say, oh, we are members of ISKCON, life members of ISKCON. How does that sound? Vishnu?
And they're getting the spiritual benefits in parallel to it. Yeah.
You see, that they put it with the pride, we are life members of ISKCON. Like they never come to ISKCON temple, but they never chant Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Kushma Madaji, welcome. They never chant Hare Krishna, but they say we are life members of ISKCON. But it gives them a pride, that they. So if somebody says I'm life member of ISKCON, do not think that they are initiated devotees, because not all initiated devotees are life members, probably. So these are two different things. So Srila Prabhupada started this life membership program, and for the respectable members of society who are, intelligent class, business class, they can join this. This is one of the interviews. Mr. Jaju, who was the life member, he gives his realization here. Shyam Mukunda Prabhu, you want to read?
Yes, Prabhuji. B.L. Jaju. I was really overwhelmed by the simplicity of Prabhupada's nature. He told me how he had been carrying on his regular business when his guru had told him that 400 years back Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had said that Hare Rama, Hare Krishna would be chanted all throughout the world. He said that was the job given to him by his spiritual master, and that he would give to America and to do it. I found no snobbery in him. He was very simple, and he was telling as if my brother was telling to me simply how he went to USA, how he started, and how gradually he planned to have his Krishna consciousness throughout the world. Seeing his disciples who had changed their lives, I began to think, why not I? In my humble way, I should do something without worrying what other people are doing. I found that imperceptibly, he
Imperceptibly.
was he was affecting my life. My wife and even my son were really surprised when they found that these white people whom we thought could never turn to Krishna consciousness, he changed it so much. So we thought we also must try to follow better the teaching of Gita.
Thank you so much. You see, this is one businessman, his experience is mentioned here. And he said that, and Srila Prabhupada, look like, he went to America and he started this Krishna conscious movement. And so many devotees become Krishna conscious, and they joined Americans and Europeans, Prabhupada make us feel very simple or easy, but it's not that easy, What Prabhupada says here, what this man is saying here about Srila Prabhupada, it sounds very simple, but there is a lot of hard work and a lot of blessings have gone into this. So seeing his disciples, he thinks that, oh, I must become Krishna conscious. And then Srila Prabhupada, in this way, he was visiting all the businessmen's places, or not businessmen, but all the reputed or respectable members. Because why Prabhupada is emphasizing on respectable members, because Prabhupada believed in that shloka from Bhagavad Gita, yada yada acharati shrestha tata eva vartaro janaha. So whatever the leaders will do, the other common man will follow. So if one leader becomes, or one respectable member becomes Krishna conscious, all the community will follow him. That was the idea of Srila Prabhupada. And that is why, while Srila Prabhupada, even before he went to America, he presented his book to Lal Bahadur Shastri. He presented the books to governors and respectable members of the society. I think this is very important part of the Krishna consciousness movement, is that once a respectable or a leader becomes Krishna conscious, the chances of Krishna consciousness spreading are very fast, So imagine, I think I might have told you, if a famous cricketer, like say for example, Sachin Tendulkar, says that I am chanting every day 16 rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, what will happen? What will happen, Vishnumurthy Prabhu?
Yeah, I think as you mentioned, Prabhu, I think people do take guidance, right? So follow the leaders, like, because they see in terms of like fan following something, right? Yeah.
Yeah, lots of people will take it up to seriously, and that is why Srila Prabhupada always focused that, leaders must be, respectable members of society must be Krishna conscious. So, and the Prabhupada used to visit their home, had many, even mass programs also where common people used to also come, everybody, And Prabhupada was never like tired of lectures, Like every day he used to get up early in the morning, travel to different people's house, and give the programs in Calcutta. Now Prabhupada is in India, right? So he doesn't have a temple here in Calcutta. So he travels to everybody's home, and he is presenting Krishna conscious philosophy to everybody, So we can see that Srila Prabhupada, he is tirelessly working, like, whether at somebody's home or at a formal lecture for the large audience. He always speaks from Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. He is always speaking about Krishna consciousness, never tired of him. Somebody would ask him a question. He would quote from Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam verses, and he will explain him, So sometimes people used to argue with Prabhupada, challenge it, but Srila Prabhupada would always give them explanation from authorized scripture like that. So in this way, Prabhupada is preaching in Calcutta. Prabhupada's aim now is that he wants to have a center in Mayapur. He is now in India, Calcutta, but his desire is that there is a place in Mayapur where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's birthplace. So he has tried before. He had asked Achyutananda to acquire a land in Mayapur, but not successful. So Srila Prabhupada then decides to go to Mayapur, and rest we'll read next week when we meet. Anybody has any questions or any realizations you want to share?